Hi, I'm Harsh, a postdoctoral research fellow at the ADAPT Centre at Trinity College Dublin in Ireland, and today I will be presenting the data privacy vocabulary. The DPV is essentially an encapsulation of knowledge and semantics associated with information regarding data privacy and data protection. What this mumbo jumbo basically means is that it's a bunch of concepts with relations between them, or what the cool kids call these days, knowledge graphs. The core concepts within DPV include things such as data controllers, data subjects, recipients, or entities that are associated with personal data, the personal data itself, what kind of operations are happening on personal data, for what purposes, under what legal basis, how the data is secured using specific technical and organizational measures, and what rights are provided in part of this personal data handling or processing. And each of these core concepts are expanded as taxonomies. So this allows you to express whether that personal data is sensitive or belonging to a special category, including specific categories of personal data such as email, web history, and so on, specific purposes such as service provision, selling products, specific processing operations such as disclosure of data or sharing data, legal basis such as contract, consent, technical organizational measures such as access control, encryption, and entities such as data controllers, data subjects, representatives, and so on. Of course, you don't have to use this model if you don't like it, because you can reuse these concepts and create your own data model, which is applicable in your use cases. Such as here, we have a service that has a purpose, which has processing, and that processing defines what third parties are involved, what data processors are involved, what personal data is involved, and so on and so forth. And to express specific jurisdictional concepts, such as for GDPR, we extend this core vocabulary with additional concepts that are derived from this legal documents. For example, under GDPR, you have specific forms of consent, such as regular consent or explicit consent. So if you want to express that my data simply is based on consent, you can use the basic or core model in DPV. But if you want to be very specific and explicit that I want to use this form of consent as under GDPR, you can express that using the DPV GDPR extension. This taxonomical model allows you to express things such as technical measures as a tree. So at the top, you have the base concept, the technical measure. Then you have slightly less abstract concepts, such as access control methods, encryption, anonymization. Then the next level has slightly more concrete and slightly less abstract, such as encryption in rest, encryption in transfer, and the tree keeps growing exponentially or basically infinitely, because you can have any amount of technical measures, any amount of personal data. So we focus on the top concepts in DPV, such as access control, encryption, and so on and so forth. Same for processing, you have storage conditions, storage duration, storage deletion, and so on and so forth. And same for legal entities. What this allows you to do is express these concrete concepts as they are required in legal documents, and then to specialize them in your use case. For example, you can specify that I use encryption in transfer, annotation, whatever specific method or standard you use for that encryption. So, how to use DPV? The DPV is a resource that basically provides concepts and interoperability of those concepts across different use cases. So this allows you to say something like, I'm using this data to do marketing. And if someone else takes your use case, they shouldn't reinvent the term marketing. So you both have to agree on the term marketing, and this is what the DPV provides, a standardization of concepts involved in data processing, such as technical measures, personal data, and so on. And you can use these concepts to annotate your code, your documents, your registry of processes, or you can use them to craft policies, scripts, tools, and systems to do a variety of tasks associated with compliance checking, or creating an overview or a dashboard of your system, or any other task that is associated with how you use personal data. It also enables to create guidance. For example, if you use sensitive data, you should be doing X, Y, Z. And if you define that, okay, I use someone's specific sensitive attribute, DPV will allow you to discover that that sensitive attribute is a kind of sensitive personal data, and therefore that guidance or legal obligation applies to you. So this knowledge comes from a variety of sources: laws, ISO, IEC standards, authoritative documents and frameworks provided by organizations such as NIST and ENISA, and it helps address common pain points such as privacy impact assessments and data privacy protection impact assessment and data transfers, where you have very abstract requirements in laws, but then you have to apply them to very specific situations in your use case. DPV provides the framework within which you can express your use case and tie it to those abstract concepts. So this follows the principles of DRY, don't use yourself, and you can annotate this in your own use case, or you can express legal requirements using the same concepts as the law, and you can verify what your compliance status is and what you need to do. And through this, enforce good practice, provide guidelines, and identify what are the options and the best alternatives for your specific use case. Of course, this allows you to apply DPV to a wide range of applications such as policies, permissions, access control, domains such as banking, medicine, dialogue, dashboard. It is crazy how much information is usable across these different use cases. DPV is not a drop-in replacement. It is a starting point to enable a commonality in all these different areas and applications and domains. Of course, this comes with its own challenges. There's too much variance across the globe. There are different concepts, different terminology. There is no commonality, for example, what cell means in California and in Europe. There's not even a concept called cell in Europe. So DPV aims to act as a base vocabulary, which is then specialized for jurisdictions. So this is what is traditionally the role of ISO standards, and now is expanded into things that ISO doesn't really specify. It also has the challenge of how to integrate such standards, how to address complex technologies such as use of cookies and database and algorithms, which can vary or which can be very complex to prove. And all of this requires participation of multidisciplinary cohorts such as lawyers, data protection experts, developers, technical experts, authorities, and so on, which is why the DPVCG is a community group whose members are experts across all these different domains, and the DPV represents a sort of a consensus between these different cohorts. That is all I have to say for now. Be sure to check out DPV, and if you have any questions or suggestions, I'm happy to take them. Thank you.